Good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to Championship Friday of the MIAA Baseball Tournament. Robbie Alexander here with my colleague Cody Alexander, and we are set for a great game today. Number 1 seeded Adrian College Bulldogs taking on the number 3 seed Hope Flying Dutchmen. Hope won 2 elimination games yesterday to make it to this game number 6. So far, Adrian 2-0 in this tournament. And it's a pretty simple concept right now. If Adrian wins this game, they are the MIAA champions. If Hope wins, we'll go to a game number 7 at 3 o'clock. Whoever wins that will be moving on to regionals. And Cody, what do these teams have to do to capture the crown today?
Well, Adrian just has to keep their momentum going. 2 quick wins to start the tournament, have been hitting the ball well. Great pitching performances by starters Tommy Parsons in Game 1, Pierce Banks in Game 2. And Hope just has to keep the mojo going that they've had the last 2 games. A tough 5-4 victory over Calvin in their first elimination game, came back, beat Alma 5-3. And their key to today's success is not leaving runners on base. 25 runners left on base throughout the course of this tournament.
We are set to start. A first pitch strike from Jordan Williams to the leadoff man for Hope, Evan Mayday. The 0-1, able to check his swing on that. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jordan Williams, the 6th out save in yesterday's game number 3. Usually the Adrian number 3 starter. Only threw about 20 pitches yesterday, so he is poised and ready to go today. Two balls and 1 strike on Evan Mayday. The pitch. So a fly ball into right field. Tristan Richardson a few steps back into center, and he will make the catch for out number 1. I'll bring up the shortstop for Hope, Jordan Fairchild. 3 for 4 in last night's game against Alma, had 2 runs scored. I'll look to set the table for the Flying Dutchman. First pitch from Williams in the turf. It's 1 ball and no strikes. This game originally scheduled for 12 p.m., but because of some unfavorable weather this morning, we pushed it back about 15 minutes, but according to the radar, we should have some clear skies, should be able to get this game in no problem. Jordan Williams going to make a trip to the dugout. And Cody, what do you think that's about?
His shoes, he has to get new shoes, so either he was wearing cleats on that fiberglass mound or maybe something didn't feel right, but we're going to have a quick break.
Well, while we're waiting for Williams to make the wardrobe change, we'll give you the quick defensive alignment. Behind the plate, throwing down the signs, is Frankie Resto. At first base, MIAA Position Player of the Year, Hunter Hayes. Brady Wood over at second base. At third, it's Dugan Darnell. Shortstop, Jordan Torreno. And in the outfield, left to right, it's Gunnar Rainey, Zach Schering, and Tristan Richardson, who made that first catch of the game. And he's trotting back out to the mound. Looks like he's ready to go.
Williams has an 8-0 record on the year in 61 innings pitched. He has 62 strikeouts to 21 walks and a 2.07 ERA. Like Robbie said, he picked up his 2nd save of the year against Alma in a 2-inning effort.
He throws a strike right there at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike on Fairchild. Strong wind blowing in from right field today, contrary to what we saw yesterday, is that one in the turf. 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1 pitch. That one just a little bit inside. It's 3 balls and 1 strike.
Fairchild pacing this Flying Dutchman team in the tournament so far. 8 hits and 14 at-bats, has also driven in 3 runs and scored 4.
I'll take a strike at the knees right there. Count now full 3-2. The payoff pitch from Jordan Williams. It's another fly ball. This one into center field. Zach Schering tracking towards the wall and will secure it for out number 2. Digging into the right-handed batter's box now is the right fielder Mason Oppel. And yesterday in those 2 games that Hope played in, we saw him square the ball up in just about every at-bat he had.
Yeah, 4 for 4 in the Alma game. He's got 7 hits in this tournament so far, 5 home runs on the year.
First pitch, fouls that one on the right side. Hayes looking, but it's going to find its way out of play. The 0-1, just a little bit low and outside. 1 ball in, 1 strike. Here's the offering. There's a ground ball routine to Torreno. An easy throw on to Hayes to complete it. Dutchmen go down in short order. 1-2-3 inning for the Dogs, and we'll head to the bottom of the first scoreless. Keep it tuned right here to MIAA Championship Baseball here on ACTV. Welcome back to MIAA Championship Baseball here on ACTV. Bottom of the first inning, still scoreless. As Adrian gets their first at-bats of the afternoon, it's going to be the leadoff man, Zach Schering, stepping in, trying to get things started off on a good note for Adrian College. On the mound for the Flying Dutchman, it's pitcher Ted Eppinga.
The freshman has a 2-4 record in 5 starts this year, 10 total appearances for 30 innings, 14 strikeouts, 12 walks, and a 6 flat ERA.
We'll have a big task today trying to stifle this Bulldog lineup as Schering takes a first pitch ball. Schering 1 for 4 in yesterday's contest against Alma. That one again in the turf. 2 balls and no strikes. The 2-0. Outside again, 3-0 on Zach Schering.
Schering 3 hits in 9 at-bats in this tournament so far. Has also drawn 1 walk and scored 3 times.
And that off-speed pitch finds the strike zone. 3-1 now. Pitch from Eppinga. He hits a fly ball into right center field. Oppel under it and will make the catch for out number 1. So just as the Flying Dutchman started, a fly out to right field. Up now for the Bulldogs, it's the left fielder Gunnar Rainey. 0 for 4 in yesterday's contest, but he was walked. A couple of nice defensive plays in the outfield on his end as well. And that first pitch finds the outer half of the plate for strike 1. This one in the turf again. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, the weather today definitely playing in the pitcher's favor. These cold temperatures are going to give hitters a tough time at the plate. If they don't square it up quite right, it's not going to feel great on the hands.
And Rainey hits that one up the middle, but Fairchild right on top of it for out number 2. Well, lining up defensively for the Hope Flying Dutchman. Slancic thrown down the signs behind the dish. Brower at first base, Kim at second. We have Danny Carrasco manning third base. Fairchild at short, and in the outfield left to right, it's Soka, Mayday, and Oppel. That first pitch to the second baseman, Brady Wood, in there for strike 1. He hits a line drive into left field, and it's going to fall for a base hit, and that's going to get past Soka. Wood on his way to second base, and he will coast in with a miscue double right there with 2 outs.
I'm not sure what happened there. A hard line drive off the bat of Wood. Soka just not able to get in front of it, glances off of him and rolls all the way to the wall.
So with 2 down now, that's going to bring up the heavy-hitting first baseman, Hunter Hayes. 1 for 4 in yesterday's contest. That one hit was a 2-run home run to left field that put the Bulldogs on top of Alma, and they would stay there by a score of 5-4 as Hayes hits a towering fly ball into center field. Mayday all over that one for out number 3. So the Bulldogs get a double but can't drive him in. We'll head to the top of inning number 2, still scoreless. We'll be right back with more MIAA tournament baseball here on ACTV. Frankie Resto throws down to second base, which means we are ready to start the top of inning number 2. Still scoreless here in game number 6 of the MIAA tournament. Leading off for the Flying Dutchman, it's the third baseman, number 7, Danny Carrasco. Carrasco 1 for 4 in last night's game against Alma, had an RBI. A couple of ESPN top 10 caliber catches. First pitch from Williams in the turf for ball 1.
Yeah, that dive up the third base line to keep a runner at third for Alma. Also saved a miscue on a pop-up where he snagged what was originally a drop. It kicked off the heel of his glove, picked it off the ground with his bare hand before it fell for a hit.
And he hits a fly ball into right field. Richardson has it for out one. So that'll bring up the catcher, Trace Slancic. 0 for 3 last night, but had an RBI and had a strike him out, throw him out to end the game and put them right here in the championship round.
Yeah, had to take a perfect throw to throw out Alma's Minato at second. And that's exactly what Slancic was able to do, throw right on the bag to end the game and send them into Friday.
First pitch from Williams. Just misses inside, 1 ball and no strikes.
As we said yesterday, Slancic hit a 2-run walk-off home run against these Bulldogs last Saturday, and a doubleheader sweep that secured the 3 seed in this tournament for them.
Definitely put some wind in the sails if you're the Dutchman, knowing that you beat this talented Adrian ball club not once but twice, and within the last week as well.
And Williams actually started that game against Hope. He went 5 innings, allowed 4 runs, 3 earned on 9 hits, struck out 3 batters, and also walked 4, which was a season and career high for him. The most he had had before that was 3 in a game versus Alma back on March 26th.
So he'll look to settle down here. Has 4 up, 4 down so far. Count is 2-2 on Trace Slancic. The payoff pitch up high, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the offering. Chopper down the third base line, but foul. Bulldogs sporting their yellow jerseys today. Have not seen that too often this year.
Helps us pick them out on the field easily, especially on this dark, overcast day.
Well, you warned us about it yesterday, but I'm still not happy about these cold temperatures as Williams paints that inside black. Slancic thought it was ball 4, but instead he's tossed the chair. First of the day. They're 2 down now.
A little running action on that fastball. Williams starts it off inside. It runs in, but able to catch enough of the plate.
So with 2 down now, that'll bring up the designated hitter, Nick Lepore. 1 for 4 last night. First pitch in the turf and to the backstop for ball 1.
Lepore 1 hit in 7 at-bats so far in the tournament. That 1 hit was a double, though.
And skies a pop-up. This one might find its way out of play. And it is into the parking lot for strike 1. We're talking about the cold, overcast day. So overcast that the lights are on here at the Nick. Not something you want to see at 12:30 in the afternoon, as that one again fouled off to the right side. And Lepore now quickly in the hole, 1-2.
Well, we were blessed with great weather yesterday for the big 3-game slate. Mother Nature just trying to even things out, it looks like, today.
Could have waited till yesterday as Lepore grounds out 1. Third base side, but just foul, says the home plate umpire, Wade Mail. Count remains 1-2 on Lepore. Should he keep this inning alive, that would bring up the left fielder, Jonathan Soka. The 1-2. Another foul ball again to the right side. Pitch from Williams. Just high, even at 2-2. The 2-2 pitch from Jordan Williams. Inside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Despite the weather, still a great crowd here today.
A lot of blankets and sweatshirts out there in the crowd.
I know we did not pack accordingly, so we're a little chilly up here as Williams loses him and Lepore draws the 2-out walk. So up now is the left fielder, Jonathan Soka. Soka 2 for 4 yesterday, scored a run, also had an RBI in that nightcap.
Stole 3 bases too.
A dual threat player for the Flying Dutchman. First pitch, inside, 1 ball, no strikes.
Williams working both left-handed and right-handed batters on the inner part of the plate. A lot of close pitches. Just not able to find the black early here in these first 2 innings as much as he'd like.
0-1 right back up the box, past the diving Torreno and into center field. Lepore will hold up at second base. And Hope has something cooking with 2 outs here.
Another inside pitch. That one does catch the plate a little too much. Soika pulls his hands in nicely. Torreno a nice try just out of the reach of his outstretched glove.
So that'll bring up the first baseman, Landon Brower. Brower 0 for 2 last night. Had 2 walks to his name, though. Williams checks his man at second. The pitch inside, and they say it hit him. Hope now has the bases loaded with 2 outs. You said that he's been working the inside. Sometimes when you do that, it's going to hit a guy, and didn't hit him by much, but managed to get just enough of the jersey.
This is a big at-bat if you're Hope, with the second baseman Brandt at the plate. Like we said at the beginning, 25 men left on base throughout the course of this tournament. So a hit here would be key if they hope to push it to a Game 7.
Brant Kim watches a strike go by, 0-1. He was 1 for 4 last night with an RBI. Williams gets a sign from Frankie Resto. The pitch outside. Nice block there. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Frankie only allowed 10 pass balls this year, 8 in conference play. That led the league in both categories. The 1-1 pitch, just a smidge up. 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1. It's a foul ball to the left side. Darnell looking, but it's going to find its way off towards the mound. 2-2 on Kim.
Williams is going to have to come straight to Brandt, or excuse me, Brandt Kim, but the 9-hitter up at the plate, bases loaded. You definitely do not want to send it back to the top this early in the game.
Lepore on third base, Soka on second, Brower on first. The pitch outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Hope dugout starting to come alive now here in the 2nd inning. The 3-2 from Williams. It's a high fly ball in foul territory. Darnell going towards the dugout and will make the catch for out number 3. Hope loads the bases with 2 outs, but the Bulldogs escape the jam, and we will head to the bottom of the second, still scoreless. We'll be right back with more MIAA tournament baseball here on ACTV. Five, 6, 7 due up for the Bulldogs. Still scoreless in the bottom of the second inning. As Hope loaded the bases with 2 outs, but unable to drive any in. That's the third baseman, Dugan Darnell, set to lead things off for Adrian. 1 for 2 in yesterday's contest, 2 runs scored, and he'll take a strike to start his at-bat. The 0-1 from Apinga. Darnell quickly in the hole, 0-2. Payoff pitch from Eppinga. Outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now fouls that one back on the left side to stay alive.
Darnell, 3 hits and 8 at-bats so far this week, including 2 doubles. Now
watch that one skid across the turf. Count even at 2. The pitch. High pop up on the infield. Fairchild calling for it, and he will make the catch for out 1. So they'll bring up the designated hitter, Jason Croce. 0 for 1 yesterday, but he had a walk and then another walk, also scored a run. And he'll watch a curveball sail outside for ball 1. Pitch from Eppinga. That one finds the outer black. 1 ball and 1 strike. First base umpire Thomas Newport says that he held his swing, so the count will go to 2-1. Well, Hope pitchers, not a lot of strikeouts in the tournament so far, but doing a great job keeping hitters off balance, as this time Croce can't hold off. And it's 2-2.
Yesterday we saw an excellent pitching performance by Van Dyken, keeping a hot Alma team off the boards for the most part. Went 8 1/3 innings of strong pitching. and a big reason why Hope finds themselves playing Adrian today.
And his current college teammate, former high school teammate CJ Ottman, picked up his second save of the day in that contest. Both sophomores. A lot of the players we've seen in this tournament are underclassmen for Hope, so this is going to be a good ball club for a long time to come.
Yeah, their pitching has not had the most solid season statistically, but have bared down in this tournament. And because they are so young, like you said, Robbie, they are going to be here for the next few years, it looks like.
Croce sends that one down the right field line, but foul, and the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch from Eppinga, and he gets him swinging through the curveball for strike 3. They're now 2 down. First strikeout of the day for Eppinga. So up now is the right fielder, Tristan Richardson. 1 for 2 in yesterday's ball game, had an RBI. Been moving up and down in the lineup all season, finds himself back in the 7 hole. He takes a first pitch heater for a strike. The 0-1. That one just misses inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, should he keep the inning going, that'd bring up the catcher Frankie Resto. Got a big RBI single yesterday. Another one in the turf, 2-1.
Well, Eppinga pitched in relief against Adrian back on May 5th. That was the Saturday doubleheader sweep. He went 3 innings in that outing, struck out 2, walked 3, and gave up 2 earned runs.
Richardson, ground ball, 1 hopper to the second baseman, Kim. And 1, 2, 3 go the Bulldogs. When we come back, top of the order due up for the Dutchman, Mayday, Fairchild, Oppel. I'll be right here in a couple seconds on ACTV. Mayday set to lead things off for the Flying Dutchman. Top of the 3rd, still scoreless in this MIAA championship game between the Adrian College Bulldogs and the Hope College Flying Dutchman. 1 hit so far for both ball clubs. The first pitch to Mayday, a strike at the knees, 0-1. Mayday started the game with a fly out to right field. This one off the plate, 1 ball and 1 strike. Hope able to load the bases with 2 outs in the last inning, but a foul pop out to the third baseman ended the threat.
A tough break for Hope, leaving 3 more men on base. But an excellent break for Adrian, facing the top of the lineup now with nobody on.
And MIAA dumps that one into the left center gap. Rainey able to cut it off. And MIAA starts the inning with a hard single. So that'll bring up the shortstop Jordan Fairchild. Flew out to center field his first time up. Remember, Hope has to win this game to force a game number 7. However, if the Bulldogs win, it is all over. Fastball at the letters for strike 1. Hope dugout alive once again.
Right at the top of the zone with that pitch.
0-1 from Williams, shows bunt, pull back, and it's ball 1. Dugan Darnell about 4 steps in the grass. Williams checks MIAA over at first base. This bunt right back towards the mound. Williams will go to first. Out number 1, but Fairchild does his job and advances the runner to second.
And not the best bunt placement, but with MIAA on first base, he had enough speed to scamper on over to second.
So with 1 out, that'll bring up the heart of the order, starting with right fielder Mason Oppel. Grounded out to the shortstop Torreno his first time up. And the way he's been swinging the bat this season and especially this tournament, Williams is going to have to be careful with his pitch selection.
He's proven too that he can hit it all over the field. 3 or 4 hard hit singles to the right side of the diamond yesterday. And with Wood shading over, defending MIAA at second, that opens up the entire right side for him once again.
Well, MIAA with a comfortable lead at second base. The 1-0. Hits that one to right field, but it's going to be fouled back towards the back 40 practice fields. Ball and 1 strike on Oppel. Back pick to second, nobody there. MIAA doing a little May dance over at second, and a check swing foul by Oppel brings the count to 1-2. I think we might need to play some music for MIAA. His version of the cha-cha slide.
We'll definitely brighten things up here. Wind starting to blow a little more out on the diamond. Picking Robbie's papers up in the booth as well.
Still have not learned my lesson of using the paperweight. So we will we'll see how many of my papers end up on the field today. Luckily there's a net right in front of us that saves us. The 1-2 from Williams in the turf. Blocked by Resto. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, a nice idea there. Got Oppel to hit a check swing foul with a breaking ball down in the zone the pitch before that. With 5 home runs on the year, definitely do not want to hang anything, especially with MIAA over on second base. With his speed, anything to the outfield that's on the ground will probably score him.
Secondary lead And a fastball hangs high. Count full now, 3-2. Williams retired the first 5 batters he saw since then, having trouble getting out. And Oppel just able to get a piece of that one. Count stays the same.
They're really working both sides of the plate, but not able to find the zone enough. And as we've touched on, this Hope team puts together patient at-bats. They are not going to swing at too many pitches out of the zone.
Oppel toes right on the inside line of the batter's box. The 3-2 goes high, can't get him to chase the high cheddar. Ball 4, now runners on first and second with only 1 out. Striding up to the plate, the third baseman, Danny Carrasco, flew out to right field his last time up. Williams, who has been so solid for the Bulldogs this year, has found himself in some early jams.
Already 3 walks issued so far today.
Both dugouts fired up so far, as we've said a couple times. That'll be the way it is all afternoon, as that one can't find the strike zone, misses inside for ball 1.
The Bulldogs have some action stirring in their bullpen right now, as Resto's going to go out to the mound. Bulldogs do have a game to work with, but definitely would feel a lot more comfortable if they could just take this one right now.
Never want to be forced into an uncomfortable situation. But for the Dutchmen, it's worked out in their favor so far. They're currently 2-0 in elimination games.
Which for this game for them is actually technically another elimination game for them.
That it is. If Hope wins the tournament, that is a 4-0 streak they will go on, all in elimination games, which is quite impressive. As Carrasco hits that one into center field, but Sharing right there to make the catch. Runners will hold, and now 2 down. Looked good off the bat, but hung up just enough. So it's the catcher, Trey Slancic. He's going to try to drive in the first run of the game. Mayday on second base, Oppel on first. A foul off the bat of Slancic for strike 1. Field playing back with 2 outs. Outfielders playing fairly straight up. The 0-1. Bender in there, just a little bit inside. It's 1-1. Should he keep the inning going, that'd bring up the designated hitter, Nicolay Field. That 4-seamer from Williams just misses outside. 2 balls and 1 strike on Slancic. Wind changing directions now, blowing right to left. We'll see how that affects the flight of the ball today. We saw some plays yesterday turn some outfielders around. And a ground ball over to second base. Wood will flip onto second for out number 3. And the Flying Dutchman leave 2 more on. We'll head to the bottom of inning number 3, still scoreless. Don't you touch that clicker. We'll be right back with more MIAA Championship Baseball here on ACTV. Ted Eppinga toes the rubber to start inning number 3. Looks to keep cruising through this Bulldog lineup. Only 1 base runner allowed. That was the double back in the first by Brady Wood. Other than that, keeping these Adrian College batters off balance. The first pitch to the catcher, Frankie Resto, low and outside for ball 1.
Williams able to pitch out of 2 straight innings with runners on. A bases loaded situation back in the second. That time we had 2 runners on. Still scoreless, but already at 58 pitches through 3.
Resto fouls that one back. Count 2-1. This is Hope's 4th game of the tournament, so you have to wonder how many more fresh arms they have in the bullpen. And what pitchers Coach Fritz will turn to if he needs to that have already pitched.
Well, we saw yesterday with Alma, their ace Fronczak, who threw 60 to get the win against Hope in game 1, came back yesterday and threw well over 120 pitches in a losing effort.
And Resto sends that one into center field. Mayday will range to his right and make the catch for out number 1. 5th straight Bulldog retired by Eppinga. That will bring up the number 9 hitter, shortstop Jordan Torrento, who was 1 for 3 in yesterday's contest with a walk. Only has 1 hit so far in the tournament. First pitch from Eppinga shows bunt, will pull back. It's just above the letters for ball 1. It's a high pop-up, foul territory. Find its way into the Bulldogs bullpen. 1 ball and 1 strike. There's the 1-1 pitch from Eppinga. Another foul ball. This one will head over the mound. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Jordan Torrento. Junior out of Warren, Michigan. Take a ball low, 2-2. goes down swinging on the off speed. Second strikeout of the day for Eppinga, and there are 2 down. And back to the top of the Adrian order. It's the center fielder Zach Schering, who flew out to right field his first time up. Eppinga continues to cruise. First pitch. Curveball in there for strike 1. Just a smidge outside, says Wade Mail. It's 1-1. Pitch from Eppinga. Outside and low again. 2 balls and 1 strike. Pitch to Schering. This one finds the outer half. It's even at 2-2.
Eppinga doing a nice job of deception today, hiding that ball until the last second when it finally shows up in that window.
He snaps this one off a little too much. It's 3-2 on Zach Schering. Wind again blowing in from right field. The 3-2. It's a pop-up into shallow right field. Kim going back, and he will secure it for out number 3. Second inning in a row where the Bulldogs go down in short order, and we'll head to the top of the 4th. Still scoreless. We'll be back with more MIAA Tournament Baseball on your home for MIAA Tournament Baseball. It's ACTV. Six, seven, 8 due up for the Flying Dutchman here to start the top of inning number 4. If you're just joining us, Robbie Alexander joined by my colleague Cody Alexander here in game number 6 of the 2018 MIAA tournament. Jordan Williams gets back to work. First pitch to Nick Lepore, right back up the box, and it's going to fall in front of Schering for a leadoff single. Third hit of the day for the Flying Dutchman, second leadoff single in a row. Up now is the left fielder Jonathan Soika. Singled his last time up. Third baseman Dardanelle shading against the bunt. First pitch heater below the knees for ball 1. Hope still struggling to drive in runners. Have stranded 5 so far. Soika takes another one low. 2 balls and no strikes.
Still some action down there in the Adrian bullpen. Zeros on the board for both teams, but Williams still showing signs of control issues here to start the 4th.
As another fastball hangs high. 3 balls and no strikes on Soika. Tournament's an interesting time because you want to make the regionals and save arms if you make it, but you have to do everything in your power to even get there in the first place, as that fastball finds the strike zone 3-1.
Bulldogs still have Jason Schrader, their number 4, who we have not seen yet. And you've got to imagine, if need be, they will go to their horse Tommy Parsons in a late game situation.
Well, we've seen him pitch on 1 day's rest before, or excuse me, 2 days rest against the Hornets through a 7-inning complete game, and then came back 2 days later to throw 9 full. So don't put that past Coach Rainey.
Soika draws the walk. He just matched his season high, which he recorded last Saturday. 4th walk of the day for Williams.
The Flying Dutchman just seemed to have his number. He'll try to battle through it. He's worked out of 2 jams so far. We'll see if he can do it a 3rd time. As the first baseman Landon Brower digs in. First pitch shows bunt down the first base line. Nice bunt. As Hayes will flip to first for out number 1, but the Dutchmen now have 2 in scoring position. I'll bring up the second baseman, Brant Kim. Popped out to the third baseman, Dugan Darnell, his first at-bat. That ended the bases loaded threat. And I'm sure he'd love to get a hit right here as the potential first run of the ball game, 90 feet away.
No force outs anywhere, but Bulldogs up the middle defense playing back.
And that's a line drive. That's going to find the left field corner. That's going to bring in at least 1. Soika comes in. And Brant Kim has himself a 2 RBI double to give the Dutchman a lead here in game number 6.
Looks like a breaking ball that just caught too much of the plate. And the 9-hitter Kim just ropes that one down the line. With Soika on second, and his speed, he scored easily.
Still only 1 out here in the top of the 4th, and we're back to the top of the Flying Dutchman lineup. It's center fielder Evan Mayday up to bat. He's 1 for 2 so far, singled his last time up. So as a fly out to right field. First pitch from Williams is a chopper over to first base. Hayes ranges, foot race to first. And Williams gets there for out number 2. Kim will move up to third. So that'll bring up the shortstop, Jordan Fairchild. 0 for 1 so far. Flew out his first time up. Had a sacrifice bunt last time. Williams trying to escape with minimal damage. The first pitch. Fastball that finds the knees for strike 1. The pitch outside. Resto thought about it, holds on. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Right fielder Mason Oppo lurking on deck. And Fairchild hits a pop-up into shallow left field. Rainey will call the others off and haul it in for out number 3. But not before the Flying Dutchman score 2 to take an early lead. The Bulldogs have some work to do now. We'll see how they respond when we come back with more MIAA Championship Baseball on ACTV. 2, 3, 4 due up for the Bulldogs here in the bottom of inning number 4. 2-0 Hope lead. And it's the left fielder Gunnar Rainey who looks to disrupt Ted Eppinga's rhythm. 7 straight Bulldogs retired. Only 1 hit allowed so far from the right-hander. The first pitch, fastball in there for strike 1.
And nothing overpowering, it looks like, from Eppinga. Just good location and some movement that the Bulldogs just haven't been able to square up. 5 fly ball outs so far today.
Rainey, a ground out to his name, to the shortstop. The 1-1 pitch in the turf, 2 balls in, 1 strike. The 2-1 pitch in there for strike 2. Well, even though the Flying Dutchmen have a 2-run lead, don't count any team out, as we have seen that leads do not hold in this 2018 tournament. Rainey hits that one over to second base. Routine for Kim. It's out number 1. As both Hope and Adrian have enjoyed comeback wins. Both of those coming in day 2. So bring up the second baseman, Brady Wood, has the lone Bulldog hit so far. That was a 2-out double back in the first, where he would later be stranded. Another hard hit ball, this one to left center, but Mayday will make the running catch. 2 quick outs now for Ted Eppinga. Up now is the heavy hitting first baseman Hunter Hayes, who flew out to center field his first time up. First pitch from Eppinga. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Oh, this is just outside, 2-0.
Well, Hope is 0-2 in MIAA tournament championship games. Actually met Adrian in the championship in the inaugural year, which was 2012, and Adrian beat Hope 17-2 in that conference. Or excuse me, contest. Adrian, of course, has won every single MIAA tournament save for 2016, in which the Kalamazoo Hornets ended up winning that.
3-1 pitch to Hunter Hayes. Just finds the outer black. Hayes thought it was ball 4, but he'll be called back. And of course, Kalamazoo finished second in the conference this year, but had postseason restrictions put on them and unable to attend this year's conference. As a fly ball again into center field, and Mayday goes to his right this time. Another 1-2-3 inning for the Bulldogs, as Eppinga continues to cruise. 10 straight batters retired. And we will head to the top of inning number 5. 2-0 Hope lead. Don't swipe away from this channel. Don't you touch the clicker or the mouse. You might want to keep your eyes open too, because we'll be back with more MIAA baseball on ACTV. Heart of the order due up for the Flying Dutchman as they carry a 2-0 lead into the 5th inning. Right fielder Mason Oppel up to bat. 0 for 1 so far with a walk and a ground out. First pitch from Williams. Hard line drive and another leadoff single for Hope, 3rd in a row. Williams continues to struggle. Now the third baseman, Danny Carrasco, 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts so far. Action continues to brew in the Bulldogs bullpen. 5 hits so far for the Dutchman. First pitch to Carrasco, in there for strike 1.
Well, if Williams can just get through this inning, that would give him 5 strong. Would save at least a little bit of the Adrian bullpen.
Can't snap that bender off, and it hangs high, 1-1. There's a fly ball sent into right field. Richardson a few steps back, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. Carrasco, 3rd flyout of the afternoon. You heard PA announcer Dave Van Giesen say it right there. Trace Slancic up to bat. He's 0 for 2 so far. Struck out looking his first time up. Ground out to the second baseman Brady Wood his last time. First pitch from Williams in the turf, blocked by Resto, ball 1. We can see the banners out in left center field lining the fence. I'm sure the Bulldogs would love to add one for 2018.
Adrian College, of course, hosting the regionals next week, so it would be even better if they could play in that tournament as well. Of course, whoever wins this championship will be playing in the Mid-East Regional.
Pickoff move to first, Oppel back in time. So those games will be starting next Thursday. It'll run the 17th through the 21st. A 1-0 pitch, up and in, 2 balls and no strikes. You can catch all of those games right here on ACTV.
Nice little plug there, Robbie.
That's why they pay me the big bucks.
We actually do this for free, but whatever gets you through the day.
It gives us the nice chair in the booth. As that one into right field. Richardson has it measured and will make the catch. Oppel retreats back to first, and there are 2 down. So that'll bring up the designated hitter, Nick Lepore. He's 1 for 1 so far, a walk and a single. Also scored the first run of the ball game.
It is actually the 6 through 9 hitters that have given Williams the most trouble today.
So we'll see if he can set it straight and get back to his stifling ways that we've seen him do throughout this season.
Lepore started off the 4th inning with a single up the box. He eventually scored the first run of the game.
The 1-0 pitch from Jordan Williams in the turf and through the legs of Resto. Oppel off and now in scoring position is a rare passed ball by the catcher, Frankie Resto.
Yeah, that's just an instance where Resto didn't get the glove down. It snuck right through the 5-hole. It's a catcher with balls in the dirt, or in this case the turf. You usually want to try to get that glove down first. That's to cover up the 5-hole.
That heater almost comes in and hits Lepore, but instead it'll just make the count 3 balls and no strikes. We'll see if Williams can find the strike zone right here. The offering just below the knees, and there are now 2 men on.
Well, with 2 outs, that gives you a force at any base but home. So a ground ball here should get them out of the inning, but if Williams puts Soka on, we'll see what Coach Rainey wants to do as he heads out to the mound.
He is signaling to the bullpen. So Jordan Williams' day is done. Not an awful one. He only gives up 2 runs, but definitely struggling out there today. We'll let this new mystery man come in, throw a few warm-up pitches, see what he's about, and if he can keep this hope alive for Adrian. And we'll be right back with more MIAA tournament action here on ACTV. Welcome back to MIAA tournament action. New pitcher for the Bulldogs. It's number 26, Daniel McMichael, seeing his first opportunity of the tournament. He inherits 2 runners. Up now for Hope, it's the left fielder Jonathan Soika. Two 2-0 Hope lead. They have 7 hits on the day so far. The first pitch, heater up and away for ball 1.
Look, McMichael comes in with 11 appearances, on the year. An 0-2 record, has had his struggles. In 24 innings pitched, he has given up 28 earned runs, struck out 20 batters to 16 walks.
We'll see if he can find a groove right here. The 1-0 pitch in the turf, 2 balls and no strikes. Oppel on second base, Lepore on first after the walk. That was the final batter Williams faced. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. The 2-0. Fastball high, 3 balls and no strikes.
Not what you want to see if you're Coach Rainey. Pulling Williams, who had control issues today. Runners on first and second. McMichael, 3 straight balls to start the day.
And action brewing again in the Bulldog bullpen. Our producer Adrian pitcher said it's number 41 Trey Miller as McMichael starts his day with 4 straight balls, and the Flying Dutchman for the 2nd time today have the bases loaded. I'll bring up the first baseman Landon Brower. 2 at-bats so far today, a hit by a pitch and a sacrifice bunt. And he's looking for a 2-out RBI right now to give some insurance runs to these Flying Dutchmen. First pitch. Outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
If you're Brower right now, you just saw McMichael throw 5 straight out of the zone. With 2 outs, bases loaded, you're going to have to put together a patient at-bat and able to cash in.
The 1-0 pitch, and they strike right there, 1-1. Now should Brower keep the inning going, that'd bring up the second baseman Brant Kim. Last time up, a 2 RBI double to put the score where we are now. This one finds the inner black. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Brower. McMichael trying to leave the bases loaded. Payoff pitch. Curveball fouled back towards the back 40, and it stays 1-2. Michael takes his time on the mound. The 1-2. Bender gets him window shopping for strike 3. And he will leave the bases loaded. We head to the bottom of the 5th, still 2-0 Hope. And we'll see if Adrian's able to start scoring runs. They have 1 hit. We'll see if they can make it 2 or even more. Keep it tuned right here to MIAA Tournament Baseball on ACTV. 5, 6, 7 due up for the Bulldogs as Ted Eppinga looks to continue his dominant streak right now. 10 straight Bulldog batters retired, and he holds on to a 2-0 lead here in Game 6. First pitch outside for ball 1.
Eppinga 57 pitches through 4 innings.
That fastball finds the zone, 1-1.
As you said, Robbie has only surrendered 1 hit so far. Has also struck out 2 and walked none.
The 1-1 pitch to Dugan Darnell, just below the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike. Darnell popped out to the shortstop his first time up. A little bit of a check swing, doesn't finish it as Kim deep in the hole. But Darnell able to beat him by half a step. Infield single. And that's just the way you want to start the inning if you're the Bulldogs. 1 on, no outs.
And a nice effort by Kim. Shaded more towards the first baseman Brower with the lefty Darnell up. Off the bat, I thought that was going to get through, but a nice job of getting over there. Throw just a tick late.
Croce shows bunt, pulls back, but it'll be strike 1 nonetheless. And I think out of the 4 teams in this tournament, if we had to give a defensive play award, I think the Flying Dutchman would be deserving of that. Curveball in there, and Croce quickly in the hole now, 0-2. He struck out his first time up. Payoff pitch from Eppinga. That comes in and hits him on the wrist. So down in the hole, they catch a break right there. Now runners on first and second, still nobody out.
The way this game is going, Bulldogs will take base runners any way they can get them. Croce down in the hole, 0-2. Gets lucky with that hit by pitch.
So now in the left-hander's batter's box, Tristan Richardson 0 for 1 with a ground out. Corners pulled in for Hope. First pitch shows bunt. That's going to sail to the backstop. Darnell and Croce move up, and the Dogs have 2 in scoring position only with nobody out, and they are in good position.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Slants it going out to talk with his pitcher. Might have been crossed up there. That was a ball that definitely should have been caught, just completely misses it.
Richardson was showing bunt, will probably have the green light now. Even though he's been struggling in this latter part of the season, definitely has enough talent and skill to change this game with the swing of the bat. Third baseman Carrasco still playing on the grass. The 1-0 from Eppinga. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Well, it is the 5th inning, and we've seen these Bulldogs, for some reason, 5th and 6th inning is when they like to do all their offensive damage. We'll see if they can continue their lucky streaks with that right here. As Eppinga fires a strike, 2 balls and 1 strike.
It's the second time around in the order for the Bulldogs. So 5th, 6th inning, that's when you start to see a pitcher second and third time around and able to start timing up their pitches, getting the movement down the window.
Beautiful bender right there. Evens it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Payoff pitch from Eppinga. Ground ball over to second base. That's going to score Darnell. Out at first, but an RBI to cut the lead in half. It is now 2-1.
A great job by Richardson there. Anything to the right side probably would not have scored the run, but takes that pitch in the lower outside part of the plate and grounds it to the second baseman. Not only scores the run, but able to move Croce over to third.
And with one out, it's the catcher Frankie Resto up to bat. He had a big RBI single yesterday. 0 for 1 today so far. Flew out to center field. And a quick mound visit for the Flying Dutchman. Epping cruising through the first 4, now finds himself in a bit of trouble. And what do you think they're talking about out there?
Just to calm down and go back to what he was doing. Had Croce, if you remember, down 0-2. Ball gets away from him, hit by a pitch. Then both runners moved up from what looked like a cross-up between him and Slancic behind the dish. A ground ball that scored a run. So really not doing too bad, just a couple of miscues by the Dutchman.
They'll regroup as Slancic heads back behind the dish. 1-0 on Frankie Resto. Only one out on the inning, and the potential tying run 90 feet away. Pitch from Epping. Resto jammed on that one, will foul it back. 1 ball and 1 strike. Carrasco even with the bag over at third. The 1-1. Up and in as Resto has to bend out of the way of that one. 2 balls and 1 strike.
That one looked like a similar pitch that hit Croce. A little bender that he couldn't quite snap off.
The 2-1. Resto fouls it back into the booth, and I flinched.
I think that puts you in the lead for the season.
It does.
Now.
I just passed Rizzo and Tyler Simmons. Anybody else flinch? I couldn't. I was too busy flinching myself.
Our producer Sean with a look of disgust on his face.
He has a camera in his way. He's got protection. I'm exposed in the open. The 2-2 from Epping. Resto manages to foul off that curveball to stay alive. Now, in my defense, even though I flinch, they're not terrible flinches. Our producer last year, Laura, would literally hit the deck when a foul ball would come this way. So I'm still better than her. I think she's the all-time leader in flinches.
She was not good with baseballs flying towards the net. I'll admit that.
Resto hits a high pop-up on the left side of the infield, but it's going to find its way out of play. Count remains 2-2. Another foul ball down the third base line. Still 2-2.
Frankie, an excellent battle this at bat, fouling off a couple of tough pitches here with 2 strikes.
The 2-2. Ball high and the count full now. 3-2. Payoff pitch. That one tapped down the third base side, and we will again go to a 3-2 count as Resto putting up a battle here. The 3-2. Inside, and Resto with a great at-bat draws the walk. There are now runners in the corners with only 1 out.
Epping doesn't necessarily agree with that one. Curveball just misses on the inner part of the plate.
Double play still in order for the Flying Dutchman as home plate Wade Mail gives the Flying Dutchman dugout a warning now. Both the fans and the bench not happy with that last call.
Well, understandably upset. Runners now on the corners. Torreno, the 9-hitter, can swing it, and then that sends it back to the top of the Bulldog order.
Curveball right there from Eppinga hits the outer black. No balls and 1 strike. Tapper over to second base. Kim has it, flips to second for 1. They're not going to get the second. Croce comes in to score, and we have a brand new ball game. It's 2-2.
Looked like off the bat, maybe a double play ball, but hit softly enough. And Torreno with the speed beats it. Not even a throw from shortstop Fairchild. So another lucky break this inning by the Bulldogs.
We'll head back to the top of the Adrian order. Center fielder Zach Schering now up to bat, and he'll take one right in the numbers. Now men on first and second with 2 down. And a mound visit again for the Flying Dutchman. And Eppinga's day is done. Cruises through the first 4, but finds himself in trouble. And he'll leave 2 men on. We'll let the new mystery man warm up. Right now, who he is, what he's about, where he's from, and if he can end the inning with a tie intact. We'll be back with more MIAA tournament baseball here on ACTV. New pitcher for Hope. It's number 26, Eric Simons, as he comes in relief. A freshman out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, went to Forest Hills Central High School. That's where he's from. What he's about, well, he's looking to leave those runners on base and get into the 6th inning with the tie intact. 2-2 right now. As the second batter, Gunnar Rainey, left fielder, steps into the plate. To RTL3, who's watching the stream, thank you for the note. I thought a payoff pitch was when there was 2 strikes. So I stand corrected. I sincerely do thank you for letting us know, because we are always looking to improve up here. We hope you're all enjoying the broadcast out there, as a ball is thrown to Gunnar Rainey to start his at-bat.
Definitely like the feedback. Definitely trying to get better.
Strike finds the outer half of the plate, 1-1.
Simons comes into today with 8 appearances on the year, owns an 0-1 record, 18 innings pitched, has an 8.5 ERA, 11 strikeouts to 9 walks.
And he hits a ground ball over to Carrasco. He'll step on third for the out. And a close play as Torreno head first slide, but not enough to be safe. And we'll head to the top of the 6th inning. A brand new ball game, 2-2 in championship baseball. We'll be back with more MIAA tournament action here on ACTV. Top of the 6th inning here in game number 6 of the MIAA tournament. 2-2 ball game as Daniel McMichael looks to start his first full inning of work. First pitch to Brant Kim. Fastball that's just above the letters for ball 1.
A nice bounce back in the last inning. McMichael came in. A 4-pitch walk to start his outing. Started off Brower with a 1-0 count. Comes back, and strikes him out.
2-0 now on Kim, who's 1 for 2 today so far. Popped out to third his first time up, but the big hit last time, a 2 RBI double to give Hope their first lead of the ball game. He's now up in the count, 3 balls and no strikes. The pitch from McMichael, up high, 4 straight balls. And for the 4th straight inning, the leadoff man is aboard for Hope.
It has not been an issue getting men on base for the Dutchman. It has just been an issue getting them in. 9 more runners left on base, only in the 6th inning as well.
I'm sure they'd love to retake the lead right here as we're back to the top of the Flying Dutchman order. It's the center fielder Evan Mayday up to bat. 1 for 3 so far. Single, a fly out, and a ground out. Pickoff move unsuccessful as Kim back in time. First pitch to Mayday in the turf, 1 ball and no strikes. Still action in the Bulldog bullpen. 1 man actively throwing, that's number 41. Trey Miller, another person starting to get stretched out just in case. As Mayday fouls that one back towards 223, 1 ball and 1 strike. Shows bunt. That one's going to be right in front of the line on the third base side. Throw to first. And Hayes will have to come off the bag to make the pick. So a sacrifice turns into 2 men on with nobody out.
Mayday with the speed. You know what they say, speed kills. McMichael got to that ball, had to rush his throw. And just a smidge up the line to where Hayes couldn't stay anchored at first base.
But a tough throw nonetheless. It will be ruled a hit. Number 6 on the day for Hope. And once again, they have something cooking. Shortstop Jordan Fairchild now up to bat. 0 for 3 so far. 0 for 2. One of those outs was a sacrifice bunt. Also has 2 flyouts. First pitch from McMichael, showing bunt again. It's a heater high for ball 1.
Well, with Hope struggle to drive runners in, it looks as if Coach Stu Fritz is going to start resorting to a little more small ball to get those runners moving, get them closer to home plate.
Hunter Hayes playing even with the mound. A snap throw from Resto. But Kim just back in time. Hayes out to have a quick word with his pitcher, as is Resto Terreno, Darnell Wood, and of course head coach Craig Rainey to lead the discussion. McMichael's day is done as we'll head to the bullpen. Number 41, Trey Miller, comes in to relieve. We'll let him get some warm-up pitches. We'll find out where he's from. We think we know what he's about, so we'll leave that out this time. But we'll be right back with more MIAA Championship Baseball here on ACTV. Trey Miller inherits 2 runners here in the top of inning number 6, game number 6 of the 2018 MIAA tournament. And it's a 2-2 score. Miller, a freshman out of Mount Blanchard, Ohio, went to Riverdale High School. Not to be mistaken with the popular show on the cable. In fact, is Riverdale High School. It's a real place. Runners on first and second. Hayes comes in again, even with the mound. Fairchild shows bunt, pulls back. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
A big situation for the freshman righty on the mound. Limited work so far this year. Has only made 2 appearances, 4 2/3 innings pitched. Has given up 6 earned runs in that span, 3 strikeouts to 5 walks.
The 2-1. This bunt down the third base side, but Darnell going to let it go foul. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Still nobody out for Hope. A leadoff walk to Brant Kim. He's on second base. And a sacrifice bunt turned into a hit by Evan Mayday is how the Bulldogs find themselves in the position right now. Hope trying to regain their lead after giving up 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th. Miller working from the middle of the rubber. The 2-2. Just a bit low. Count runs full, 3-2. Six hits so far for Hope, only 2 for Adrian. The 3-2. A hard ground ball, a little hop and a skip by the first base coach. Count stays the same. The 3-2. Just outside, and Miller loses him. Ball 4. And for the 3rd time this afternoon, Hope has the bases loaded. This time, though, there's nobody out in the heart of the order coming up. And you heard the PA announcer right there. Mason Oppel up to bat. It's 1 for 3, 1 for 2 so far. A walk, a ground out, singled his last time up. And as we've said before, hitting the ball hard this tournament. First pitch from Miller, curveball, line foul down the left field line. Current temperature 45, so still a brisk day here at the Nick. We were hoping for at least 50s, but that does not seem to be the case.
Everybody up here in the press box bundled up.
Another curveball. This one a soft liner to first base. Hayes makes the catch and makes the tag. Double play and a huge play for the Bulldogs.
Absolutely nothing Fairchild could do on that one, as that soft liner off the bat at Oppel carries Hayes right into the Hope shortstop, and a huge break once again for the Adrian Bulldogs.
2 outs now, still 2 men in scoring position. And it's the 3rd baseman, Danny Carrasco, up to bat. 0 for 3 so far. 3 flyouts, and I was going to say that a flyout here would be just the case. But instead, with 2 outs now, he's going to need to put something in play with no out. First pitch, a bender, low for ball 1. Miller and the Bulldogs trying to leave the inning with the tie intact. Hope trying not to leave any more men on base. The 1-0. Soft tapper in front of the plate. The Bulldogs thought it was out number 3, but home plate umpire Wade Mail said that it was a foul ball. And Resto going to plead his case.
Home plate umpire saying that he grabbed it while it was behind the foul line. Close call though.
Count 1-1 now on Carrasco. Pitch from Miller. And that one's going to run in and hit him on the shoulder, but for the second time this tournament, home plate umpire will say that he did not make an attempt to get out of the box, and he will have to come back in. 2 balls and 1 strike on Carrasco.
Yeah, that curveball in. Carrasco didn't look necessarily like he tried to lean into it, trying to take that pitch off the back rather than right into the shoulder, but again, I'm not necessarily a big fan of that rule. I believe that the batter should be able to just stand in the box as long as he does not lean over the plate. But the rule is the rule, and the umpire interprets it how he wants to.
Instead, it'll be a ground ball to Torreno, throwing to first. Nice pick by Hayes, and the Dogs catch a break right there.
Oh my gosh.
As the Hope bench not happy with the home plate umpire Mail, but we'll head into the bottom of the 6th inning. Still a tie game. Hope not catching any breaks here. We'll continue to see how this game unfolds. We'll be back with more MIAA baseball action on your home of the MIAA tournament. This is ACTV. Heart of the order due up for the Bulldogs. Tie game in the bottom of the 6th. And a strike from Simons to Brady Wood. As Hope not catching many breaks these last couple of innings. A foul ball off the ankle. And Wood quickly in the hole, 0-2.
Yeah, he hit that right on the head, Robbie. Just bad luck for the Dutchman. Bases loaded, no out. A double play that nothing Fairchild could do on first. The line drive brought Hayes right to him. And then what initially looked like a hit by pitch, home plate umpire Wade Mail said that Carrasco leaned into it. Next pitch grounds out to the shortstop Torreno. The game's still tied 2 apiece.
Wood 1 for 2 so far today, a fly out and a double his first time up. And another hard hit ball, this one into left field. Soika will range to the wall to haul it in for out number 1. And we talk about not being lucky. Wood has hit the ball hard all 3 times, but only has the 1 hit to show for it. So with 1 out now, that'll bring up the first baseman, Hunter Hayes. 0 for 2, 2 flyouts to the center fielder, Mayday, and he takes strike number 1.
Simons working quickly. Already on the rubber when he receives the throwback from Slancic. And very quickly, another ball outside. Hey, second time he stepped out of this box in this at-bat, trying to slow things down.
Pitch from Simons. That one hangs inside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Talk about quickening the pace. The 3-1. Hayes fooled on that curveball. Count runs full, 3 and 2. Well, rain is due at 7. So if Hope wins this game, we'll have to play 1 more and try to get in before then. Is another fly ball to center field. Mayday will make the catch for out number 2. So up now is the third baseman, Dugan Darnell. Infield single his last time up on the nice attempt by Brant Kim. He would later come around to score the first Bulldog run of the game. First pitch from Eric Simons, in there for strike 1. This one just low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. At the knees. Count now 1 and 2.
If you look, Kim over at second base, not shaded towards the first base line as much as he was last time.
Darnell looking to start a 2-out rally here. Count 2 and 2 with 2 outs. It's a fly ball into right field. Opple will range towards center field and haul it in for out number 3. Bulldogs go down in short order. Fly out to left, fly out to center, and a fly out to right to end it. We'll head to the top of the 7th. Still a tied game. We'll be back with more MIAA baseball here on ACTV. We'll have to get Cody a blanket. He's shivering. We'll be right back. Top of the 7th here at Nicolay Field. If you're just joining us, Robbie Alexander joined by my colleague Cody Alexander. Tie game at 2 apiece here in game number 6 of the MIAA tournament. If Adrian wins here, they'll seal the deal, but if Hope wins, we'll go to game number 7. with the winner moving on to regionals. First pitch from Miller inside for ball one.
The way this tournament has gone, Robbie, would you expect it any other way? Tie game after 6?
I really would not. Only one big win so far as slants it, grounds that one to Torreno. Long throw and another nice pick by Hayes for out number 1. That first game, Adrian won against Calvin, a score of 9-2. Since then, no game has been decided by more than 2 runs. So up now is designated hitter Nick Lepore. 1 for 1 so far, a single and 2 walks. Also scored a run. That first pitch heater, a ball, 1-0. Well, we weren't able to find any blankets, so we're just going to have to keep shivering through this one. Wind is taking a turn, blowing directly into the press box, which is not pleasant at all.
Well, when we packed to come down here, with me and Robbie being from Genesee County, we knew it was going to be chilly today, but we didn't think it was going to be in the 40s. We were assuming low to mid 50s.
Nice pullover weather would do the trick, but not so, as Lepore not able to hold his swing up right there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Of course, I don't look that far into the future, so it was warm when I packed. I figured that the warm weather would just stay for the rest of my life. Wishful thinking on my part.
You're in the wrong state to think like that.
Yeah, you're probably right. It can be cold for Christmas, but that's about it.
I'm not even a fan of that cold. I'd be fine with anything above 50 for the entire year.
1 hopper to Darnell, charging the throw. Nice play for out number 2. So that'll bring up the left fielder, Jonathan Soika. 1 for 1 so far. Singled his first time up, has been walked twice since then. Scored the second hope run of the ball game and was stranded at first his last time. First pitch. Strike on the outer, black, 0-1. Bulldogs trying to put the Hope Flying Dutchman down in short order for the first time since the first inning. The 0-1 pitch. Just a bit inside as Soika bends out of the way. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Miller doing a great job so far. Not an arm that you or I expected to come out of the pen, but definitely a welcome sight for Coach Rainey as he's leaving some of his more, I guess, used arms during the year still haven't come in and throw. You have Jason Schrader, who we have not seen yet. We have Mo Hanley, who we have not seen yet in this tournament. So if he can go to Miller to finish out this inning, maybe even pitch the 8th, it'll be a big deal for Adrian.
Throws another ball in the turf. It's 3-1 on Soika. And as we've said a couple of times, if Adrian captures the lead right here, don't rule out their ace Tommy Parsons stepping on to throw the last few pitches. So Miller loses him right there. They can't put him down in order, and Hope has a man aboard with 2 outs. You heard the public address announcer David Van Giesen right there. First baseman Landon Brower up to bat. 0 for 1 so far. Struck out looking his last time up. Also has a sacrifice bunt. He was hit by a pitch his first time up. I'll watch a 4-seamer in there for strike 1. Soika 5-step lead over at first, low to the ground.
And don't discount him not to run. 3 stolen bases in yesterday's contest versus Alma.
Miller will try his best to hold him on. Oh, one pitch to Brower, ball high. Soika, a short running lead, but he'll stay put at first. Second baseman Brant Kim lurking on the on-deck pass. Soika off for second base as that one's hit into center field. Sharing a few steps back and will make the catch for out number 3. Hope leaves a man stranded. And it is time for the 7th inning stretch. Still knotted up at 2. And on this cold day, we'll make sure to stretch up in the press box. Make sure you stretch at home, do some calisthenics, refresh the beverages, maybe get a snack going. And we'll be right back with more MIAA Tournament Baseball on ACTV. We hope you finished up your 7th inning stretch. Refresh the Pepsi or the Coca-Cola, whatever you prefer. Maybe took those hot dogs you were grilling off the grill, or, you know, it's a Friday. Maybe you decide to cook a pizza, but nonetheless, we are back for MIAA tournament action on Championship Friday. First pitch strike to Jason Croce from the New Hope pitcher, number 23, Nick Holt. Still knotted up 2-2 as Croce hits a soft line drive right into the glove of Kim for out number 1.
Well, Holt, 8 appearances on the year this year, has an 0-1 record, 9 2/3 under his belt, 4 strikeouts, 11 walks, so control has been an issue so far this year.
Up now for the Bulldogs, the right fielder Tristan Richardson. 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts, but his last one was an RBI. Hope nearly 2-0 lead after scoring 2 in the 4th. Bulldogs come back to score 2 of their own in the 5th, and that is where we have sat since. As Richardson now in a 1-1 count. Tapped over to first base. Easy play for Brower, and he'll step on first for out number 2. So that'll bring up the catcher Frankie Resto. 0 for 1 so far. A flyout walked his last time up before being stranded at third. First pitch. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes.
Now, I haven't called a Frankie home run Resto, or excuse me, a Frankie Resto home run, or guessed one, in quite some time. We missed his home run versus Kalamazoo, his first and only of his career. I don't want to jinx it.
You're going to call one right now?
I think it's only fitting that I call a Resto home run right now.
I don't think you've called one since he hit that first one. He'll take it off-speed pitch there from Holt, 2-1.
I mean, still in a hitter's count here. Wind blowing out to left field.
We'll see if he can do it. The 2-1 from Holt. Instead, it's a line drive single into left field, and the Bulldogs will take that here with 2 outs. First hit of the day for Frankie. I'll bring up the shortstop, Jordan Torrento. 0 for 2, struck out and reached on a fielder's choice his last time up. But in that fielder's choice, the second run was driven in. First pitch from Holt, off speed, finds the outer black for strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch, another breaking ball. This time finds the inner half. Toronto quickly in a hole now, 0-2. Holt working off that left side of the rubber. The 0-2 in the turf, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, our left, his right. No difference really, but
astute observation. The 1-2. Another bender. This one can't find the zone, and it's all knotted up at 2-2.
Sometimes in the booth we forget that our view is flipped from everybody's on the field, and therefore left and right is different from the fielder's left and right, besides the catcher.
An old nubber off to the shortstop. Toronto jammed on that one, and Fairchild will step on second to end it. So the Bulldogs get a man on with 2 outs, but leave him there. We'll head to the top of the 8th inning. Things are getting interesting here in game number 6. Who do you think's gonna pull it off? Will you tell us? I guess we'll see next on ACTV. Top of inning number 8 here at Nicolay Field, 2-2. That's 9-1-2 due up for the Hope Flying Dutchman. Kim 1 for 2 today, a pop out, RBI double, 2 RBI double to be exact, and a walk. Take a first pitch ball from Trey Miller. He swings through that off speed, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Nice little breaking ball there, starts it off at the knees By the time it reaches the plate, drops right off the table.
The 1-1 from Miller. Chopper over to third. Darnell has to have a long throw, and it will beat him for out number 1. So we try to control our belongings up in the press box. Another gust of wind.
Sounds like you're a little chilly up here now, too.
A winter coat would have been nice today. Back to the top of the Hope order. It's the center fielder, Evan Mayday. As that first pitch is popped up on the infield. Hayes camped under it. I'll make the catch for out number 2.
I was just going to say, hopefully our mother is not listening, because I feel like she said bring a winter coat. I can't really remember, though, which isn't a good sign.
I probably was not listening, if I'm being completely honest. I suffer from a condition, what is commonly known as selective hearing. It's a very bad disease. So I think she's at work right now, though, so she shouldn't be listening. 0-1 on Fairchild. So that fastball misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Fairchild is 0 for 2 so far today. 2 flyouts, a sacrifice bunt, and a walk his last time up. The 1-1. This one finds the bottom of the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Fairchild. Now, should he keep the inning alive, that'd bring up the 3-hitter Mason Oppel. Time is called, and Miller will regroup. The 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss there as Miller tosses on the chair. And Hope goes down 1-2-3. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Still a 2-2 game as the tension continues to grow here on Championship Friday. Top of the order due up for the Bulldogs. We'll be right back with more MIAA Tournament Baseball on ACTV. Zach Schering set to lead things off here in the bottom of inning number 8. Potential championship on the line for the Bulldogs in this game. If they win, it's all over. If they lose, we go to a sudden death game. Is Nick Holt set to start the inning? First pitch. Breaking ball in there for strike 1. It looks like that will be his main selection today, as we have not seen a lot of fastballs out of him so far. Schering waits on that one, drives it into the left center gap. That's going to be a base hit, maybe even more. Mayday cuts it off. Schering aboard with the lead-off single.
Just a hanging off speed pitch there, Schering all over it. Mayday does a nice job of cutting it off, and Schering the smart play to stay on first with the meat of the order coming up.
And I'll start with the number 2 hitter, Gunnar Rainey. 0 for 3 so far with 2 groundouts and a fielder's choice. He shows bunt down the first base line. Schering will take second. Rainey out at first, but the go-ahead run now in scoring position. A great bunt by Rainey as Carrasco was charging in early down the third base line. May have spelt trouble for Schering, but he puts it down the other way. And a mound visit now being called for Hope. And it looks like Holt's day might be done. It is, as he will exit the ball game. New pitcher for the Flying Dutchman. We'll let him come in, get some warm-up tosses as he emerges from the bullpen. We'll find out who he is, what this mystery man's all about, where he's from, and if he can keep that runner at second base. We'll be right back on ACTV. Hope College turning to their closer. It's C.J. Ottman trying to keep Schering at second base and keep this tie intact. Bottom of the 8th inning, still 2-2. It's the 3-hitter Brady Wood up to bat. Heart of the order due up now. Only 1 out. And a crowd now forming out on the center field hill. First pitch from Ottman. Just a smidge low, 1 ball and no strikes.
And Ottman yesterday recorded his 5th and 6th saves of the year, including a 2-inning save, 6 outs against Calvin in their first game yesterday. 2 hits total, no runs across his 2 appearances.
He fires a fastball right there for strike 1. Wood 1 for 3 so far today. A double in his first at-bat, has flown out twice since then, but squared up all 3 so far today. The 1-1. He hits that one into left field. Soka going back to the track to the wall. And it is over his head and off the wall. Schering's going to score the lead run, and Brady Wood go ahead RBI double. Adrian leads 3-2 in the bottom of the 8th.
This kid not even in the lineup to start the year. And now he finds himself with one of the biggest hits of the Adrian year. We saw him square a ball up in his last at-bat, got a little too far under it, so he got able to run it down, but that one did not miss it at all, and he shows exactly why he is hitting in that 3-hole.
Still a man in scoring position, still only 1 out. Heavy hitting first baseman Hunter Hayes up. He'll roll that one over to the third baseman. Carrasco will throw on to first for out number 2, and Wood will hold at second base. That was Adrian's 5th hit of the afternoon. Like you said, not cheated at all, and for a split second, I thought that might be over.
Wood only a sophomore, so it'll be exciting to see what he does with a full season under his belt.
Third baseman Dugan Darnell up now. He'll take a ball low, 1-0. Adrian dugout fired up right now. And a ball escaped the Adrian bullpen as we have an arm warming up right now. And I don't have the number clearly, but I can see it now. Tommy Parsons warming up in the bullpen.
Big hole there on the left side, with Carrasco playing fairly close to the line. Wood, decent speed over on second base, so if he's able to sneak a ground ball through that left side hole, he should be able to score the 4th run.
The Bulldogs would love to get that insurance run right now. 2-0 on Darnell. The pitch from Ottman up high, 3 balls and no strikes. Should Darnell keep the inning alive, that'd bring up the designated hitter, Jason Croce. .30 pitch in there for strike 1. Darnell 1 for 3 so far today. A fly out, a pop out, had an infield single, and scored the first Adrian run of the game. The 3-1. Fouls that one back. Count now full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Darnell toes right on the line. Time is called. And the way this tournament has gone, could you have expected this to turn out any other way in this late inning battle? We have not been cheated for good games so far. Payoff pitch from Ottman. It's a ground ball over to first base. Brower will step on first to end the inning, but not before Adrian scores the go-ahead run on the RBI double by Brady Wood. And coming in from the bullpen now, it's the master carpenter, Tommy Parsons, looking to close out this tournament. Final call for hope. We'll be right back with more MIAA Championship Baseball on ACTV. Time to pay the piper if you're the Hope Flying Dutchman. 3-2 Adrian College lead as they try to hold on to take the MIAA championship. And they turn to their ace, Tommy Parsons, looking for his first career save, and he'll have to do it against the heart of the order. 3, 4, 5 due up, starting with the right fielder, Mason Oppel. First pitch. Fastball in there for strike one.
Well, Parsons' numbers speak for himself. 10-0 record, 84 innings pitched, 102 strikeouts to only 5 walks, and a 1.5 ERA.
Oppel sends that one into deep right field, but Richardson right there for out number 1. Up now is the third baseman, Danny Carrasco. 0 for 4 today, 3 flyouts and a ground out to the shortstop. And the way this tournament has gone, could you have expected any other finish to this game?
Well, hope still in it. Parsons actually a 4.3 ERA against the Dutchman in his career.
A big cut there by Carrasco. It's 0-1. And Parsons bringing his A game right now, but like we said, you cannot rule out any team in this game, especially the Dutchmen, who have played gritty baseball through this whole tournament and are showing that they are not giving up without a fight. Another heater from Parsons just misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 from Parsons. Hits the outer black. 1 and 2 on Carrasco.
Nothing but straight heat so far from Parsons. Not messing around here.
The 1-2. He fouls that one back to the padding. Carrasco stays alive. The 1-2. Another foul ball, and Carrasco putting up a battle against Parsons.
I tried to fool him with that changeup on the outer part of the plate. Carrasco does a nice job of just reaching out there and staying alive.
Parsons double checking the count to make sure he has it correct. It's 1-2 on Carrasco. There's the offering. Another foul ball, this one towards the back 40, and Carrasco not going down without a fight. One, 2 pitch. There's a tapper over to shortstop Torreno with a throw. And the Bulldogs are an out away from the crown. Hope down to their final out. It's the catcher Trace Slancic up to bat. 0 for 4 today. 2 groundouts, a strikeout, and a flyout. Both dugouts fired up right now. Six hits for the Dutchman today, 2 runs. 3 runs on 5 hits for the Bulldogs. First pitch to Slancic, ground ball over to Wood. This should do it. Throw on to first, and it's going to be thrown away. Rare error by the Bulldogs, and Hope stays alive. Tying run now on first base.
Yeah, Wood didn't field that one cleanly to start. It looked like he might have gotten a little lazy there. Did not square to Hayes on the throw and pulls him up the line.
Hope continuing to grind this tournament out. Designated hitter Nick Lepore now up. 1 for 2 so far today. A single, 2 walks, and a ground out. And he swings at that high cheddar but can't connect. 0-1. Parsons works first base side of the rubber. The 0-1 to Lepore. Hits the outer black, 0-2. Brady Wood shifting into shallow right field. Parsons gets his sign from Resto. The 0-2. Your Bulldogs are kings of the MIAA.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of today's game, our final score here this afternoon is Adrian College 3.
Adrian College, the 2018 MIAA baseball tournament champions, and they are headed to regionals. They take this one by a score of 3-2. Tommy Parsons' first career save. And hope does not go down without a fight, as this has been a tournament for the ages. And Cody, what did you see today?
Just gritty baseball on both sides of the diamond. Williams for Adrian, not his best stuff. Had to leave earlier than a lot of us would have expected with his control issues. McMichael comes in, does a great job of getting out of a bases loaded jam. His command was not the best. They turned to a freshman with only 4 2/3 innings of work this year in Trey Miller. He does an excellent job. The big hit by Wood. And again, nothing wrong with the effort Hope put in. A young team who found themselves with their back against the wall, won 2 elimination games yesterday, but their old foe came back to bite them. 13 men left on base. And that's really what separated the Adrian win from the Hope loss.
And you have to tip your hats to Hope. A great season. Not able to pull it off, but they'll finish as runner-up. And like we said, just a great game, but save for the first game of the entire tournament, every game finished within 2 runs. This one finishes by a score of 3-2. And once again, congratulations to the Adrian College Bulldogs. We'll throw it to PA announcer David Van Giesen for the trophy presentation.
Congratulate host Adrian, Alma, Hope, and Calvin for their participation in the MIAA postseason and having successful seasons. So let's give a round of applause to the MIAA tournament runners-up, the Hope College Fly Country. And now, your 2018 MIAA Baseball Tournament Champions, who gained the conference automatic bid to the NCAA Division III Championship, the Adrian College Bulldogs.
that wraps up the 2018 MIAA tournament. The Adrian College Bulldogs win their 6th playoff. Congratulations to them. Once again, congratulations to Hope College. And we will see you right here next week on ACTV as the Bulldogs able to come into their own regionals that they are hosting at Nicolay Field. Those times and dates will be announced with the matchups on AdrianBulldogs.com when they become available. But the Bulldogs have secured their spot once again in the regional tournament, MIAA champions. And this has been Robbie Alexander with my colleague Cody Alexander. An absolute honor to take you through this tournament. And we'll see you at the NCAA regionals next week right here on ACTV.